from 98.5 The Sports Hub. This is Ty Anderson, who is a reporter for the Bruins for 98.5 The Sports Hub, which is a radio station there. Blown out. And honestly, not even looking somewhat competitive along the way by the Oilers on Tuesday, the third of Boston's fifth straight defeat. Saw the TD Garden crowd break out into Fire Sweeney chants that echoed throughout the building. This wasn't just the raving of a mere row of those in balcony 308 or some other people. I don't know. He's got some sort of Boston reference there. It was sung out by a large segment of the arena from the balcony to the lodge, and the chant was loud enough to be picked up by the NESN broadcast. Fire Sweeney chants. Can you imagine this a year and a half ago when Boston were setting the record for the most wins in NHL history?
Adam,
2023, guys, was not that long ago.
this has come up in our friendship many times. I went to Catholic school.
You did.
Kindergarten.
You and
grade
Jesse.
8.
You're the Catholic boys.
We did.
Yep.
And I don't say it enough, but God is good.
You glad you took your confirmation and got that done?
God is good, Adam. That is. Listen, what was my December my little holiday bold prediction for the year?
You said they would not make the playoffs.
Maybe like I'm also good. Like at predicting.
Stop.
Could it be that? Could it be? No. I mean, listen. It is a minefield to get into the playoffs in the East. The Bruins have been down and out before this season, fought back very resiliently. They're on a downturn again. It's bad.
And
it's like going from the best tandem in the league, bar none, to Swayman gets off to a bad start. He's since pretty much recovered. And like you're replacing Ullmark with Korpisalo.
I warned you.
Yeah.
I warned you.
You did. I thought
Not good at goaltending.
I thought it would be enough. I thought it would be enough. It still might be.
Currently 28th in the NHL in goal differential.
Ooh. But I think a lot of that is holdover from the beginning of the season.
Maybe.
That they still haven't recovered from.
They are 31st on power play. You think the Leafs power play is hard to watch.
Oh, I can't believe that.
They are, let's just look at their PK. I don't even know where they stand on that. Oh, yeah, they're 25th on PK, too.
Now,
so that's bad.
Now, the head coach is responsible for the power play and the penalty kill, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah. Well, you do have power play coaches, like the assistants sometimes take the lead on that.
Oh, man. I don't know. If this keeps up, Jim Montgomery's going to lose his job.
Well, they did, as you mentioned, when Joe Sacco took over, they did have a bump.
They did.
They came back and started playing well.
Where'd it go?
Well, I think that they're kind of flawed. You know?
Well, like, what, are the Red Wings awesome now? Like, it's interesting that almost everyone gets the new coach bump.
Yes.
And the Red Wings are definitely experiencing that. I think they've won 5 straight. Patrick Kane's having this ridiculous renaissance, and the Todd McClellan Wings. How many games have they lost under McClellan? Was it just the Leaf
I think
game?
it was just the Leaf game.
That's crazy. But can you keep it up? Can you stay this way? The Bruins are fascinating. I don't agree with every decision they've made. Some of their additions, some of them make perfect sense. I'm like, yeah, Zadorov should be a Bruin. That makes a lot of sense. Hampus Lindholm, I don't know.
Elias Lindholm is the egregious one.
Oh, sorry.
Hampus, I'm fine with.
Shoot. I was like, no, I'm going to get the right one, and I got the wrong one. Hampus Lindholm's been great. Sorry. Elias Lindholm. Brad Marchand hasn't been great.
Brad Marchand needed somebody to be the next Brad Marchand. When older guys on Boston got older, Marchand and Bergeron were able to carry the torch.
He's the 21st oldest player in the league. We talked about this last show. It's Patrick Marchand is the same age as Patrick Maroon.
Brad Marchand.
Patrick Marchand.
Oh my God.
Did you sleep? Are you okay?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
No. The LFR into podcast turnaround is difficult.
That was Isla.
My bad. Isla's good. Thank God.
Did she sleep through the night?
She did.
Didn't wake up with any
over
hives?
the holiday. Yeah, she woke up polka dotted, and we're like, she'll be okay. And then she woke up more polka dotted, and we're like, let's call a health professional. And they're like, monitor her overnight, and so we did. And then she woke up and looked like she had been stung by an entire hive of bees. And so we went to the ER, and they said she's fine. And we're like, thank you for that. That was a great use of 3 hours. Anyway,
That's how trips to the ER usually go these days.
By the way, the fact that you were only there 3 hours is amazing.
Yeah.
Miracle.
it should be called the so you think this is an emergency room? That's what it should be called. Because the vast majority of the time, it's like they let you sit there to be like, this isn't an emergency, is it? You're fine. You're going to be, you broke your nose, Steve? You went to the ER for a broken nose? Grow up. Anyway. I don't agree with everything they've done. But the Bruins have been this weird team that I just haven't applied logic to because you shouldn't, right? It's dumb to do that. They can make as many bad decisions as humanly possible, and I would still bet on them because they're the Bruins.
Yes.
And they always find a way. They won 65 games, and we're like, oh, well, what's the drop-off going to be like? And they started better. Like, they won 10 straight games to start last year. They had the coach bump this year, and I said, oh, there you go. But it's almost like, Adam, you're a huge wrestling fan, so I know you know this reference. Undertaker versus Roman Reigns. And what happens when the Undertaker's lying flat on his back?
Well, doesn't he rise from the dead?
Yeah, he does that zombie thing where he rises from the dead, and he always does it. And you're like, what do I got to do to keep this guy down? But in his last match against Roman Reigns, the Undertaker went to get up, and he couldn't do it, and he fell over.
Oh.
Before losing the match and leaving all his gear in the ring for one last time. And it's happened, honestly, it's happened half a dozen times at least, where I'm like, well, Bruins might be cooked. And they keep coming back stronger. 28 years later, how do they keep making sequels? I don't know. The zombies keep winning. I don't know. They sure seem to be flawed this time. It's so hard to bet against them.
Yes.
There's a lot of trauma.
I think there's Leaf trauma there. Like, I'm sure if you're a LA Kings fan, you're like, a little bit. Ducks fan.
We'll be fine.
Well, you're looking at the Bruins going, no, they probably are cooked. But as a Leaf fan, you can't ever believe that.
The Leafs are going to
because they'll catch you sleeping.
Leafs are going to screw around and win the East, and the Bruins are going to get the second wild card.
Oh, that would be terrible.
That would be. It is downright likely.
Well, the Lightning keep losing too, so you never know.
Oh, good, great. Like, really? Those are the options?
Yeah.
Like, are you freaking kidding me?
Or Montreal. Or Columbus.
Oh!
How did those series go?
You just listed the last 4 teams to beat the Leafs in the first round?
Yeah, the only other team we haven't mentioned is the Caps. And they're too good.
You mentioned the last 4 teams to beat the Leafs in the first round. Florida doesn't count because that was not the first round.
Yep.
Cool. Great. Glad those are the options.
Yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Really fun.
Well, so this is the thing. I was talking to somebody yesterday about this, and specifically about the Bruins. I was like, hey, I'm like, did they watch Elias Lindholm in the playoffs last year?
Or all of last season?
All of last season. I'm like, it's no disrespect to this guy, but at the end of the day, he wasn't good in Calgary, but he was running off of what he had done with Gaudreau and Tkachuk. And then they trade him for an enormous package to Vancouver. And Zadorov does well. Lindholm does not. Vancouver tries to trade Lindholm before the trade deadline. He is fine in the playoffs as a defensive guy, but he doesn't score much. And then they give him $60 million.
Adam, when Lindholm got nominated for the Selke in 2022, how many goals did he have?
40.
42.
Oh, okay.
What is the most goals he's had in a season since then?
22.
22! How many goals he has this season?
Oh, he's got like 8.
7.
Yeah.
I think you bought high.
Well, so what the person said to me was there's a cascade effect because they needed somebody at center. There wasn't really anybody else available unless you count like who else? Who went to Seattle? It was
Chandler Stevenson.
Yeah, and
that hasn't been the best either.
Right, and they also have a Chandler Stevenson in Pavel Zacha, right? A center who plays good defensive hockey, you know what I mean.
Charlie Coyle.
Yeah, and so they were looking
horrible center.
They were looking for a marquee guy.
Yeah.
One wasn't available, but they had to buy one. And I just thought, boy, like think about where we're at with Vancouver. and you got JT Miller and Elias Pettersson potentially available. One or the other, maybe both. Bruins can't make that trade right now.
How many players have how many players have 20 points or more on the Bruins?
Oh, that's a good question. I have no idea.
4. How many players have over 21 points?
Less than 4.
2.
Oh, no.
Pastrnak is still friggin' ridiculous. 42 points in 43 games, which is honestly still probably less than you expect for that money. Marchand is 32 and 43, which is, again, very good, but it's not the Brad Marchand we're used to because time catches all of us. And then it's Zacha with 21 points in 43 games, so he's less than half a point a game.
Yep.
Their third leading scorer is less than half a point a game. And Lindholm is 4th. So, like, we're criticizing Lindholm. He's still 4th. You know what I mean? It's... They got a miraculous performance out of Mark Kastelik. Hasn't really done a ton since then. Like I'm just looking at the Bruins and going, where's the answer?
Well,
every time this happens to them, they find one.
Well, some people are thinking it's is it I always pronounce
Patra?
Yeah, Patra or Lascelles.
Lascelles, I'm surprised hasn't
He
got
played one game this year.
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't got more time.
But he's got 18 points in 28 games in the AHL. What is it again?
Patra,
18 in 21. And last year he was a monster.
he has 1 goal in 14 games this season.
Yeah.
4 points.
But fans are pissed that he's not up because they're like, listen, whatever he had, it was probably mostly under Monty that he was playing anyway.
Yeah.
And
well, okay, that's fair.
So
that's fair.
Give him a shot.
That's definitely fair. But
like you're saying, oh well, he's only got 1 goal. Well, how about the guys that are making $8 million that have like 6 goals?
So what I would say is if a young player has 4 points in 14 games and we don't need to have him up and we have the option to put him in the A, that's what you do.
Yeah.
You're doing the right thing there. Now that you have a new coach, though, yeah, I think it's worth revisiting. You're totally right.
Well, it's.
I would love for this to be a nanny boo boo segment, but we're legit trying to figure it out.
The Bruins?
Yeah, we're trying to figure it out because I don't know, trying to be impartial.
And you've got Swayman who missed training camp. And again, let's talk about the unforced errors here. Talking about the free agent signing, Lindholm. I was not a fan of the Elias Lindholm signing. Guys, you know how I felt about the Eunice Korpisalo coming back for. Like you could have had so many other goalies at so much less for so much less time, and he's giving you an 892. Swayman missing training camp is completely on Sweeney.
Yep.
But
Swayman's got an 893.
Yeah. Why do you think he's got an 893?
Yeah. No. But I guess what I'm saying is they're identical, basically.
Yeah.
You're getting the same performance out of so Korpisalo is below league average, but keeping pace with your starter.
Yes. And your starter missed training camp. And therefore, will have to play catch up all year.
He's got a better record than Swayman, too. He's above 500 at very least.
That's what I'm saying, man.